Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to look at the uranium technical analysis, do an update, our daily updates, and we'll dive right in. So here's my financial opinion, guys. So here's the futures contracts. You know what? I just saw, I got to put this back in. The watermark was gone, guys. Sorry about that on the last one. So here's the futures contracts for uranium. But up today, 47.45, moving sideways. The companies themselves, unfortunately, were not as lucky. And again, I'm just kind of holding on. I'm waiting to see what happens here. This is the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust right at support. And we'll kind of keep it on this one, the 1 week. But we're right on support. The dailies, we were down today 3%. I'll go to the dailies here. We're still above that support line. And we got to get the buyers to step in here. We got to get some juice flowing, guys. What the heck's going on? Uranium, again, selling off a little bit today. And we're right above that trend line. Hopefully that trend line there, well, off logarithmic. Hopefully this trend line holds. Well, it looks like we're right below it. So we'll hope the support holds. CCJ, and again, I'm not going to sell my shares even if it doesn't hold, guys. CCJ, down today, but a little bit of buying pressure. That's why it's in green color. But right below that support line, right kind of buy it. Bannerman, right on support with a nice, good bullish engulf or bullish hammer pattern. It's a hammer pattern with the wick. We'll see if the buyers step in. Goviax, little Govy. That's a little banny there. Goviax, again, selling off today, 9.45% above this support line going there. Lots of selling pressure. We are getting an overall pullback in commodities. We pulled back in the overall stock market as well. Global Atomic, selling pressure today. Buyers and sellers are battling back and forth at the current price. We got support underneath it. Forces Metals, it's sold off today, but had some momentum heading back up. It was still down 6%. That's what it looks like there. Pure Point Uranium, one of the few that were up today. We've got Deep Yellow right on support. This support line is this one drawn across the entire thing here. So there's our support. Paladin, getting some selling pressure, down 7.2%. We're almost at this blue support line, which goes across as well. Sky Harbor selling off. We're down at that support line. Wow. Right on it. So we'll see if it holds. Alaska. This thing never broke out of its pattern, guys. This downtrend line, it never broke out. It's starting to head lower again. Starting to head lower. Fundamentals look good. Technicals look bad. That's what I'll say for a lot of the companies right now. It doesn't mean it can't turn and go higher, though. But technicals don't look great on a lot of these companies. We're heading lower in NXE, right on this support line going across here. There's the support that we've hit. And we're playing with that support line now. Base load, again, it's still within the pattern. We've got Fission 3.0. That's down today, but some buying pressure right on support. Fission, Uranium right on support. We've got Kazatomprom selling off a little bit. This thing could be, I mean, we could head lower here, guys. I mean, we'll see. We've got kind of this, usually, and it's hard to say, guys. Let me grab this. Let me grab this. We'll see if what type of pullback we're working with. 0.618 here is right where we're at, and that usually provides good support at 0.618. But we could go to 0.786. It's not out of the cards. Sometimes it goes all the way back here. That's at 1870 for Kazatomprom if we were to do that. Peninsula Energy. Let's zoom in here. Pulling on back today. Let's do the dailies there. That's pulling on back. Good selling pressure today. Boss Energy starting to come back below its support line. It is selling down. And we could see further downside. Consolidated Uranium pulling back. Got support kind of on the bottom here is what I've got. Lotus Resources right on support. Little update today. UROY right above support. We'll see if that support line holds going across here. We've got Encore Energy selling off. Again, we'll see if this support line holds. UU got sold off right on support. URG on support. UEC, there is a support level going through here if you look, but we've got support underneath it as well, a couple support lines. LEU, down day to day. Yep, not that I expect this to have up and downs. They're all going to be down. I mean, usually the whole sector sells off or it's all the way up. But we're seeing selling pressure in a lot of these. This is below this the trend lines on that guy. ISO Energy, down. Again, we could see further downside out of this, guys. It depends what the buyers and sellers want to do. And right now, this is the support. That's where we're at. We're kind of playing with it. Appy Energy right coming to the other support line on the blue. Denison Mines selling off here, right on support. We've got Blue Sky Uranium. And a nice, good, big bullish engulfing yesterday. Came out with a bearish piercing today, right on the support resistance line. Interesting. Forum Energy Metals, big sell-off today. We could see further downside. AEC selling off. This is going to flush everyone out of uranium. All the retail investors are going to get flushed out of this. They're not going to be able to hold through it. That's my guess. Laramide coming on back again, above support. Western Uranium, Vanadium. Basically a little small down day, well, 5.7%. Small compared to these big boys up there. Tried breaking back in the pattern, but sold back off. UEXCF selling off today. Mega Uranium selling off. I mean, this does not look like a good chart here, guys. We could pull back, and this is below the trend line. And we did not break above it, and we're starting to sell away from it. Standard Uranium up today. Valor Metals selling off. The support line's starting to fail. We could head a little bit lower here. We've got another trend line coming up through here. Elevate, right, selling off. That support is breaking to the downside. Will we get some buying pressure to fling it back higher? Again, we'll have to wait and see. 92E is also selling off, and we're still above that trend line, but nonetheless, it's selling off. So we're seeing selling pressure across the board in commodities in general and in uranium. When will the buyers come back in? It's tough to say, guys. I'm waiting for it. And right now, I'm just in a holding pattern. I'm not really doing much. And I'm waiting to see what goes down here. We could have a bigger, larger pullback than what we've already experienced. And then, I'll say on the opposite hand, the short-term movements, it can be impacted by anything. So, again, the overall commodity complex does look like it wants to pull back. So we could see a further pullback. And I always say could and should and would. And the reason I say that is because the probability of short-term trading is not very high. And we can get linked to the overall markets. The overall markets are pulling back. Let's look at the S&P 500 here real quick, just to show you what that's doing. But we were down a little bit today. The momentum was up today. We were down 0.13%, down in the NASDAQ 0.15%. But we sold on off, and we're kind of coming up here. We're not getting a huge bounce, though. So this, to me, looks pretty bearish from this perspective. And I think people are probably figuring that out in the commodities and saying, you know what, I'm going to start taking some money off the table for some. And I'm just riding it. I've allocated my money to commodities in a certain way that I'm going to keep my positions in there. But the S&P 500 could drag us lower. And we'll have to see and monitor a lot of the other market conditions. But the market conditions, I think, are going to remain inflationary so long that we have tightness in the oil markets. And oil can go down in the short term, but it doesn't mean that it's going to solve our problems by the price. It doesn't mean that inventory is just automatically going to raise. People are speculating on a lot of stuff here of a slowdown, and maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But it's not going to be, it's not going to be dead forever. We may get a slowdown. Maybe it lasts for 6 months, 8 months, however long. And this is entirely, we'll see what the Fed does. We'll see, because a lot of this is also interest rate driven. And if they want to prop up these markets, remember, a lot of funds are in the S&P 500. They're in the bond market. And as interest rates go up, it's going to push these lower. It's going to pull them lower or push them lower. And it's all highly correlated to interest rates. That's the pricing mechanism of all these assets. And if they back off on their stance of increasing interest rates, this could all come back quite quickly. So it's really dependent on what they do. And I'm surprised at how fast mortgage rates have gone up. That was surprising to me. I thought they were going to peak out at like 4.5%, 5%, but man, they blew through that like it was nothing. And here we are. I don't know what, I didn't look recently, but it was around 6 something percent for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. But that's where we're at. I'm holding on. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website in the description link below. Platinum memberships where I would be if you want to learn more about what's going on and about ratios and investing. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.